For the last 20 years, computer security has rested on a relatively stable cat-and-mouse equilibrium between attackers and defenders. When human security researchers look for vulnerabilities, they read through code line by line. Finding a flaw in a complex system often takes weeks or months of meticulous effort. Automated tools called fuzzers speed this up by blindly throwing massive amounts of random data at software to see what breaks. But even that brute force process usually takes days to yield results. The stability of this entire defensive era relied on friction. The sheer amount of time it took for either humans or software tools to locate a viable exploit acted as a natural shield. This compares the autonomous exploit success rate of Anthropic's previous model, Opus 4.6, with their newest release, Claude Mythos Preview. While the older model had a near-zero success rate, Mythos exhibits a massive, immediate spike in capability, prompting Project Glasswing to secure critical software. In early testing, Mythos examined OpenBSD, an operating system widely considered the most secure in the world, and identified a subtle 27-year-old zero-day bug involving integer overflow and TCP sequence numbers. Operating with zero human intervention, the AI independently bridged the gap between identifying the flaw and engineering a functional exploit. The timeline of cyber warfare has collapsed from weeks of labor to a few hours of computing time, leaving our current digital fortresses compromised by design. To find these flaws, Mythos operates inside an isolated agentic scaffold environment. It is not blindly guessing or throwing random data at a wall. Instead, it reads the source code, ranks the files by how likely they are to contain a vulnerability, forms a hypothesis, and actively tests it by running the project and using debuggers as it sees fit. This specific process allowed it to find a 17-year-old remote code execution vulnerability in FreeBSD, targeting the network file system server. This animation shows a stack buffer overflow. A client sends excess data, overwhelming the server's memory buffer and overwriting execution pathways. Mythos recognized this code path lacked stack canaries and memory randomization. It split its payload across sequential packets, bypassing remaining barriers, gaining root access. Mythos has moved beyond simple bug detection, autonomously engineering complex, multi-stage weaponization from end to end. 0 days grab the headlines, but the immediate threat to the ecosystem comes from end days, vulnerabilities that are publicly known and patched by developers, but not yet applied by end users. The public patch note serves as a direct roadmap to the bug. Mythos can process those patch notes and turn them into a working exploit in a matter of hours, weaponizing the vulnerability before network administrators have time to deploy the fix. This schematic shows how the AI bypasses complex, modern defenses like memory randomization and system sandboxes. A single out-of-bounds read might not grant access, but by linking it with a separate memory leak and a third logic error, the AI forms a critical breach pathway. The AI completes this complex chaining process entirely on its own, relying only on the patch notes and the source code, with no human guidance required. Defense in-depth measures rely on making exploitation tedious. When an AI can grind through the tedious mathematical workarounds in seconds, those barriers stop preventing attacks and merely inconvenience them. The digital ecosystem is entering a highly dangerous transitional period, where attackers hold a massive short-term advantage. If models with these capabilities leak to the public, the speed of automated exploitation will immediately overwhelm current human response times. While an attacker only needs one success, these models allow a defender to scan and patch thousands of potential entry points simultaneously. By closing every door before a single line of code ships, defenders can finally operate with the total coverage that was previously impossible. The side that utilizes these tools most efficiently will dictate the new security equilibrium. Organizations must immediately shorten their patch cycles. They need to enable auto-updates everywhere and treat routine dependency bumps that contain security fixes as emergencies. Detection and response teams must fully automate their incident response pipelines. Human teams cannot process the incoming volume of alerts fast enough, so models must handle the triage and preliminary investigations. Defenders should deploy currently available frontier models right now to proactively sweep legacy codebases and fix vulnerabilities before attackers can scale up. Human-speed cybersecurity cannot keep pace with automated exploits. To secure the digital world, we must rebuild defenses using the same technology that threatens them.